Hello everyone, this is Mr. Jackson. We're looking at item number 4 for our homework for Tuesday, October 23rd, 2012 in math. And number 4 asks us to write the following fractions as decimal numbers. Fractions are parts of a whole, and decimal numbers are parts of a whole. So there are certain fractions which can be written as decimal numbers. A decimal in math looks like this. This is where our place value comes into play, because the decimal is always behind the ones place. So the first thing you want to do is locate your ones place, which is where the decimal will be behind. Now we know that after the ones place to the left comes the tens place. So if we put a 2 here, it would be 2 tens. But if we put a 2 on this side of the decimal, it wouldn't be tens, it would be tenths. Okay? If we put a 2 on this side after the tens place, it would be hundreds. That's why we get 221. So on this side, instead of hundreds, we would write hundredths. So you notice everything begins from the ones place, and the decimal is always behind the ones place. So if the next place value to the left is tens, and to the right it would be tenths. After the tens you get hundreds, after the tenths you get hundredths. So you're noticing the same words, they're just adding THS. And what tenths means is you take one whole and you break it into 10 equal parts, and each part is called a tenth. Same thing with thousands. If you put a 2 in the thousands place, it would be worth 2 thousands. So over here, to the right of the hundredths place, you wouldn't get thousands, you would get thousandths. Very good. THS. No commas needed. We only use commas as we go to the left. Locate your ones place, and everything is based from there. Tens, tenths. Hundreds, hundredths. Thousands, thousandths. And just for fun, we'll put a 10 thousandths here. 2 10 thousandths, and over here we would have 2 10 thousandths. And the pattern goes on and on forever. Okay? But what's important to notice is that sometimes your fractions will have 10 equal parts, and each part would be called a what? A tenth. Sometimes your fractions would have 100 equal parts, and each part would be called a what? A hundredth. And sometimes your fraction will have 1,000 equal parts, and each part would be called a thousandth. So some fractions directly relate to decimals because fractions are parts of a whole and decimals are parts of a whole. So 6/10, which could also be written like this, if you wanted to make that a decimal number, you would have to have your decimal, and you would have to have how many tenths? 6 tenths. So if this is 2 tenths, what do you think 6 tenths would look like? It would be a 6 in the tenths place. Very good. Now, 6 hundredths, which could also be written like this, means you'd have to have your decimal, you would have to have a tenths place, and you would have to have 6 hundredths. Don't have any tenths, but we have 6 hundredths. So you put your 6 in your hundredths place. Okay? If it was 16 hundredths, then there would be a 1 in the tenths place, and there would be a 6 in the hundredths place, so the whole number would be 16, and you would say the place value of the last digit, which would have been hundredths. 6 thousandths, you would need your decimal. We have no tens, no hundredths, no tenths, no hundredths, but we do have 6 thousandths. And notice I keep pronouncing the THS because if I say hundreds, then I'm on the wrong side of the decimal. So 6 thousandths could also be written like this. We don't usually use commas when we have thousands for fractions, so you don't have to put the comma there, but if you want to, as a matter of fact, I suggest not doing it, because I want you to be used to when to use commas and when not to, and the special exceptions to the rules. Okay, if you have any questions or concerns, please email me at ClassJump. The more we do this, the better we get.